Settle in, dear one, and let your thoughts drift as I tell you a story from a time not so long ago. A tale woven with threads of friendship, mystery, and a quiet courage that glowed even in the deepest shadows. This is the story of Harry and his 6th year at Hogwarts, a year filled with discoveries and profound moments of understanding. Our story begins not with a loud flourish, but with a subtle unease spreading across the land. Dark clouds, both literal and metaphorical, gathered above. In the world beyond the protective enchantments of Hogwarts, a curious tremor spread through the Muggle city of London. A beautiful bridge, the Millennium Bridge, which had once arched elegantly across the river, seemed to dissolve, not with a crash, but with a quiet, fading grace, leaving a lingering sense of absence. These were the hushed movements of the Death Eaters, agents of the formidable Lord Voldemort, whose presence was now felt more keenly than ever. Meanwhile, young Harry Potter, resting quietly at the Dursleys' home in Surbiton, was soon to embark on his next journey. One evening, the wise Albus Dumbledore, with his long silver beard and eyes that twinkled with ancient knowledge, arrived to collect Harry. He led Harry to a small, unassuming village, where they sought out an old colleague, Professor Horace Slughorn. Slughorn, a man of comfortable habits and a fondness for good company, was initially hesitant to return to teaching. But Dumbledore, with his gentle persuasion and profound understanding of people, managed to convince him. It was clear that Slughorn held a key to a very important memory, a piece of Voldemort's past that Dumbledore desperately needed to understand. Soon, Harry and his friends, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, were back on the familiar Hogwarts Express, heading towards their beloved school. The air was filled with the usual chatter and excitement, though a subtle undertone of apprehension now accompanied the journey. Upon arriving at Hogwarts, a new academic year began. Harry, now a student in advanced potions, found himself without a textbook. Professor Slughorn, taking over from Severus Snape, kindly offered him an old, well-used copy. As Harry opened its pages, he noticed curious handwritten notes in the margins, offering clever shortcuts and improved methods for potion making. These notes were signed simply the Half-Blood Prince. With the prince's guidance, Harry's potion-making skills soared, much to the quiet astonishment of Slughorn and the occasional frustration of Hermione, who usually excelled in everything. While Harry was delving into the secrets of the Half-Blood Prince, a different kind of mystery began to unfold. Harry couldn't shake the feeling that Draco Malfoy, a Slytherin boy with a troubled heart, was up to something deeply disturbing. He often saw Draco sneaking about, looking pale and burdened. Harry shared his concerns with Dumbledore, but the headmaster, with his characteristic calm and trust in Harry's instincts, encouraged him to observe, but seemed to already carry a great weight of knowledge. Dumbledore himself began to dedicate special lessons to Harry, not in spellcasting, but in understanding the intricate past of Tom Riddle, who would become Lord Voldemort. These were not ordinary lessons. They were journeys into memories, delicate wisps of thought preserved in a pensieve, allowing Harry to witness moments from Voldemort's youth. Through these memories, they discovered that Voldemort had sought out powerful magical objects, known as Horcruxes, to store fragments of his soul, believing this would grant him immortality. One particular memory, however, was incomplete. It was a memory from Professor Slughorn, hazy and deliberately altered, hiding a crucial detail about Horcruxes. Dumbledore gently tasked Harry with retrieving the true memory from Slughorn, knowing it would be a delicate and perhaps uncomfortable task. Meanwhile, the rhythms of school life continued. Ron and Hermione found themselves navigating the tender complexities of their growing feelings. Ron, blossoming with confidence, especially after a fortuitous and Harry-assisted Quidditch match where he performed brilliantly, found himself enchanted by Lavender Brown, much to Hermione's quiet distress. Harry, observing his friends, felt a quiet concern for their happiness. Harry knew he needed a special touch to persuade Slughorn to reveal his true memory. Remembering a unique potion from the Half-Blood Prince's book, Felix Felicis, or Liquid Luck, Harry carefully brewed it. One peaceful evening, after a quiet birthday celebration for Ron that turned unsettlingly sour, when a poisoned mead, intended for Dumbledore, accidentally found its way to Ron, Harry took the potion. With the gentle flow of luck guiding his steps, Harry found himself walking towards Hagrid's hut, where he gracefully encountered Slughorn. Under the soft glow of the moon, amidst the quiet beauty of a giant spider's funeral, Slughorn, his heart softened by the evening's events and the subtle influence of the potion, finally shared the complete, unaltered memory. It was a chilling revelation. Voldemort, as a young man, had indeed inquired about the possibility of splitting his soul into 7 parts, an act of profound dark magic. As Harry pieced together these critical insights, Draco Malfoy's secret activities became more urgent and dangerous. He had been quietly working to repair a pair of vanishing cabinets, one at Hogwarts and one in a dark shop, intending to create a secret passage for Death Eaters into the school. His actions led to 2 alarming incidents. A cursed necklace, meant for Dumbledore, found its way to an innocent student, Katie Bell, causing her great distress. And later, the poisoned mead incident with Ron. Harry, his suspicions now heightened, followed Draco into a quiet bathroom, where a tense confrontation unfolded. In a moment of intense feeling, Harry used a powerful, unfamiliar spell from the Half-Blood Prince's book, Sectum Sempra. It was a swift, silent incantation, and where it met Draco, it left curious, blossoming crimson marks, like delicate wounds appearing suddenly. Snape, arriving quickly, calmly intervened, healing Draco's injuries with quiet efficiency. With the true memory now understood, Dumbledore believed he knew the location of one Horcrux. He prepared for a perilous journey, asking Harry to accompany him. They traveled to a desolate cave by the sea, a place infused with dark magic. Inside, they found a small boat that carried them across a vast, still lake of obsidian-like water. In the center, on a lone island, lay a basin filled with a luminous, emerald potion. Dumbledore, with immense fortitude, drank the potion, knowing it was the only way to reach the locket at the bottom. The potion weakened him profoundly, causing him immense thirst and distress. Harry, with a heavy heart, endured Dumbledore's struggle, fulfilling his task to ensure every drop was consumed. As they retrieved the locket, the lake came alive with grotesque, pale figures, inferi, who rose from the depths. Harry, with his fiery Patronus, bravely protected a weakening Dumbledore, and together they made their way back to the quiet of the night. They returned to Hogwarts, Dumbledore gravely weakened but resolute. As they arrived at the astronomy tower, a moment of profound stillness descended. There, waiting for them, was Draco Malfoy, his face etched with fear and inner turmoil. He was not alone. Other Death Eaters, having finally breached the school's defenses through the mended vanishing cabinet, soon joined him. Dumbledore, with his last reserves of strength and wisdom, tried to reason with Draco, sensing the boy's deep conflict. But before Draco could make a choice, Severus Snape appeared. In a moment that seemed to suspend time, Snape stood before Dumbledore. There was a pause, a breath held in the night air. Then a silent flash of green light, so brief it might have been a trick of the starlight, enveloped Dumbledore. He swayed, then began a long, slow fall from the tower's edge, a descent into the quiet below, like a leaf drifting from a high branch, leaving behind an echoing silence and a deep, profound sorrow. Harry, hidden by Dumbledore's protective magic, could only watch in stunned grief. He then pursued Snape and the fleeing Death Eaters across the castle grounds. During this desperate chase, Snape revealed a truth that resonated deeply within Harry. "I am the half-blood prince," he stated, his voice calm amidst the chaos, leaving Harry with a new, unsettling understanding. As they departed, Hagrid's beloved hut caught fire, a quiet symbol of the escalating dark times. The school gathered, heartbroken, for Dumbledore's funeral. Students, teachers, and magical creatures alike paid their respects. It was a somber, yet strangely peaceful ceremony, a quiet acknowledgement of an immense loss. Harry, Ron, and Hermione stood together, their bond stronger than ever. The locket retrieved from the cave, it turned out, was a fake, a clever deception by someone named R.A.B. In the gentle aftermath, Harry, looking out at the serene lake, spoke to Ron and Hermione. He knew he could not return to Hogwarts the following year. His path was now clear. He had to complete Dumbledore's work, to find and destroy all of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Ron and Hermione, with unwavering loyalty and quiet determination, promised they would join him. And so the story of that year concludes not with an ending, but with a beginning of a new shared journey, a quest for light in the deepening shadows. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, united in their purpose, stood ready to face whatever lay ahead. Their hearts were filled with both the weight of loss and the strength of their friendship, a powerful, comforting presence that would guide them through the quiet, unknown paths to come. Now, as the moonlight softly bathes the world outside, let your own mind rest. The journey is paused for now, and peace enfolds you in its gentle embrace. Sleep well, knowing that even in stories with shadows, courage and friendship always lead towards a hopeful dawn.